Okay, hello, welcome back to IELTS with Will. Today I've got a very quick little mission for you. We're going to look for vocabulary that's useful and not useful in the speaking edition of the test. So let's go and have a look. Okay, so what are you supposed to do? What's your mission briefing in this little video? Well, your mission is to identify and eliminate weak, vague, or overused vocabulary, words we do not need in the speaking test. Okay, and the reason we want to replace these words, which we'll call traps, with better, more precise, high scoring vocabulary. Okay, so find the poor words and replace them with better words. That's your job. Okay, case file number 1. Let's investigate. So, Band 5 answer would look like this. Describe a place you like to go in your free time. I like going to the park because it's a good place to relax. I get a nice feeling when I walk there. There are a lot of trees and it's really quiet, which is a good thing. Okay, so what's your job? Look at this. Which words do you not need? Which words are vague, general, or just not good? Which words do just about everybody know, so they will not get you any marks? Find them first, and then we got to replace them. Okay, here's some examples, some notes the detective has just taken. So, good place, that's no use. Vague and overused. In fact, I would probably say that's a 4 in speaking in IELTS. Get a nice feeling. So that's extremely basic again, close to a 4. And I would immediately think, what do you mean a nice feeling? A lot of trees. Again, it's very informal, still quite basic. And of course, a good thing. Now, anyone could say this. In English, probably 2 of the first words you'll ever learn, so they're not going to get you any marks. And what you have to do is now replace them with better phrases or better vocabulary that will get you marks. So, can you upgrade these words and phrases? All right, so let's try as we usually do in this channel to get a band 7 or thereabouts. Okay, so we can't, if we want a band 7 in vocabulary, for example, we cannot use these words, right? So we've got to use something better. What is your something better? Let's look at a suggestion here. So instead of I like, I'll say I'm fond of visiting the park because it's an ideal place to unwind instead of relax. I find it incredibly soothing to walk through the greenery. Nice. The abundance of trees instead of lots of trees, and the overall tranquility, calmness, create a peaceful atmosphere that I genuinely value. So yeah, that's not a 4. That's way better than a 4. And as you see, there's lots of good words, not particularly difficult words, but lots of good ones that immediately make the vocabulary up to the standard of a 4. I particularly like to unwind because students often say relax, and they say it too often, in fact. So I'm going to give you another one now. This time it's your job to find, I'd say, at least 3 vocabulary traps in this answer. 3 pieces of vocabulary, words or phrases that you should not be using if you want a good mark. I think books are good because they help people get information and stuff. I usually read a lot of interesting things. So it should be very easy to see basic words that get you no marks whatsoever. And now your job is, of course, to try and replace them. So remember, you want vocabulary that's at least 6, 6.5, 7, and you don't want this stuff. Okay, there could be many answers to this, depending how you want to phrase it. Hopefully you want to phrase it well. I have a suggestion, just a suggestion. So here's my upgraded version. Books are a valuable source of information. They allow readers to access knowledge and explore engaging content from a wide range of fields. Engaging content, sounds better than, say, interesting information, engaging content. So that would be, vocabulary-wise, that's a much better answer, way better answer. And we've changed, here's some of the words we've changed. Good has become valuable. Get information becomes access knowledge. And remember, in this particular answer, they not only said stuff, but they said interesting things. So, of course, stuff can be used in informal speaking, but again, even in the IELTS exam, it's not very useful because it's so general. Stuff and things, they can be anything, you know. So stuff, interesting things, okay, we'll change them to engaging content, as I mentioned earlier. So look at that, engaging content is much more formal. You could say it's still not precise, but it's much more formal instead of things, and even more precise, I suppose, than things in general. Okay, so I'll leave you with a quick final challenge. So record yourself answering a part 2 cue card question. And again, part 2 question, you can find it. And then replay and highlight all the weak or vague vocabulary. So record yourself answering a question, then listen again and do this. Have you said any of these words? Have you avoided saying good, for example? Replace each weak word with a stronger and more precise word or phrase and see if you can improve it and then try again. And the whole point is to try and speak vocabulary-wise at least like a band 7. All right, hope you enjoyed this quick vocabulary mission. I'll see you next time.